Hey, so today on Tuesday's tip, we're going to talk about a little water. So, I know you, I know me. Most people say, I'll just get out there and water it with a good old water hose. Well, there's some different options out there on the market. Because, yeah, you could come out here, hit your plants every day, but do you really have time? Most people don't have time. Most people have good intentions, but the time is the issue. So we have currently been putting in this new landscape here at this client's home, as you can see, and we have exposed dirt. And one of the methods of irrigating plants in this particular case is we use a drip system. So you can see how the drip system works is this morning the ground is wet around it. But basically what we do is we have this hose here, as you can see, and that hose has teeny tiny emitters in it. And those emitters will produce water. A lot of people ask me and they say, well, what about spray over drip and this, what's the pros and the cons? And so you got to kind of look at your situation in mind and see which one you're good with. A lot of our clients, they want to see the water. So if it ain't raining, if you don't see the water, it's not working. Well, that's not always the case because see, when you see the water, the wind's blowing that water around, it's in a fine mist, it goes everywhere. And so sometimes spray irrigation is not the most efficient. We find over time that drip irrigation is the most efficient because we're putting water right down at the root zone. And so we're not having to worry about evaporation. We're not having to worry about water flying in the air or floating around. We're getting it right down in the root zone. And as you can see in this particular case, you can see the wet spots along these bushes. Those wet spots along the bushes is where last night the irrigation system ran and it dripped water out. So this is an effective, efficient way for you to get irrigation right to your plant material. You can modify, so maybe you got spray irrigation at your home. You're ready to get rid of it. You want something more efficient. You can come in and modify and retrofit that irrigation system that you currently have to have drip irrigation. That way we're not watering the house, we're not watering the neighbor's yard, it's not flying in the air, it is getting directly into the root zone of the plant material, and that root zone is exactly where it needs to be. So here's a simple way. You can get this drip irrigation system with different lengths of emitters, so you can get an 18-inch, a 12-inch, I think a 15-inch between each drip in that. You can also customize this to where you get a blank tube and you actually buy the emitters and you put those emitters specifically where you would like for them to be. So there's a lot of adjustment and modification that can be done to this system to make sure that we get the water right where we need it to be. You can use it as simple as this has one drip line on this side, and behind this row of bushes is another row of drip line. So that way you get two drip lines in the same flower bed, giving you enough and an adequate amount of water. When you have shrubs that are behind me that are planted in here, we actually make a loop around them so that we can make sure that there's enough water that gets to each individual plant. If you do trees, then you want to make a loop around that outside of the tree zone, and then we also want to make sure that we have enough emitters dripping enough gallons of water per hour or per minute to be able to soak into the ground to be adequate for the tree or the bush or the shrub. So you kind of want to keep those things in mind, but it's very simple and very efficient to be able to change over your system or to install this system at your house. If we can help you in retrofitting your irrigation or helping you with your irrigation and your irrigation repairs, let us know.